Hello students, I am Hasmathullah from G.k.Jain school. Let's start the economics class. Till now we have seen what is there in the International Economics Organization. We have also seen that what does IMF stand for. The International Monetary Fund, it was nothing but a combination of various countries who comes together for the purpose of giving the exchange to the various economic activities. Along with that, we see here the transfer of various kinds of payment, various kinds of trade, various kinds of other legal activities which are controlled by this body. For example, India and China is coming together for one trade dealing, and anything happened wrong. For example, India cheated China, or China cheated India. In this scenario, what will happen? This IMF will come forward and they will help whatever the nation is, and in whatever field they are getting cheated. So this kind of organization was set up for the purpose of giving the economic stabilities. Okay, in that scenario we have this chapter economics organization. We have started the IMF. The introduction of IMF, I gave you that. It is nothing but an organization which were set up for the purpose of seeing the two countries' desires, two countries any kind of legal activities, two countries any kind of economic stability, how it is working, how it will work. All this detail we have seen. Simple way to understand the IMF is that it will check out the members countries, whoever are the members countries in the IMF. They will check that whether they have any kind of economic troubles, any kind of monetary troubles, or any kind of rules and regulated troubles. All these trouble they will analyze, and if it is available to the members countries, they will try to solve it. For example, India is a member of IMF, and anything happens wrong, any country cheated India, means this IMF will come forward. For example, India needs some kind of money, some kind of loan, and World Bank is not giving, or any other organization is not giving. IMF will come forward and have a financial assistance. In order to understand the monetary value, the IMF was set up so that the monetary problem in the members country can be solved. Let's see the objective behind why this IMF was started. First point, to promote international monetary cooperation among members countries. And we understand that this was set up in order to give the cooperation. For example, we have 5 to 7 countries: India, China, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, UK, US. All these countries are there. All are the member of IMF. This organization was done to regulate the international economic standard. Whoever are the member of this country, whatever the economic stability is there in the country, they will control, they will promote. Point number 2, to facilitate the balanced economic growth. And the economic growth is very essential, as we have understood that the economic growth is essential for individual, for the society, and for the country, as well as for the entire humankind. That's the reason economic stability, economic growth plays a very important role in every field. We cannot say, the scientist cannot say that we don't agree with the economic policy. The doctor cannot say that I don't agree with the economic policy. Every profession people has the ability, has the need of this economic growth. That's the reason IMF, the International Monetary Fund, the International Monetary Fund Institute, it gives you that privilege that there will be an perfect economic growth. They will take care that there should be a growth in the economy. That's the point number 2. Point number 3 says to ensure the exchange rate stability. See, when the two countries comes together for any kind of trade, any kind of business operations, what happens? There is a lot of trouble now. For example, if two companies comes together for one manufacturing activities, what will happen? This company will say, I have expert in this. They will say, I have expert in this kind of ego issues comes. In the same way, when the two countries comes together for any kind of exchange, for any kind of trading, any kind of economic policy dealings, what happens? Such type of issue comes. What kind of issue? The export-import issue. The exchange rate issue, when you exchange the goods, when the currency is being exchanged, what happens? The exchange rate problem happens. So, this organization, IMF, plays a very beautiful role over here, that they will take care that none of the country goes against the policy. They have made the rules. The rules has been set up. All the rules with regards to do the trading has been set up. Now, the IMF will observe that whether the countries are understanding, following these rules or not. That's the reason exchange rate will also be fixed. For example, India is having a relation with Japan, and they are having a business dealings. Now, suddenly Japan says that exchange rate was 2%. Now they will say no, it's a 3%. Now, in this scenario, the India can go and knock the door of IMF, and IMF will intervene and say that no, you are wrong here. This was only 2% step. So all the exchange rate stability will be controlled, will be observed, and will be analyzed by the IMF. And anything problem happens, they will come forward to solve it. Next, to eliminate the exchange controls, and the one of the best thing why we have IMF, why we should have an IMF, the example is to exchange the or to control the eliminate the what exchange rate. For example, if you see the earlier 1900, before the World War, before the 1945, there was a few countries like UK, countries like US, countries like Russia, Japan. All these countries was powerful countries, and they used to control the entire exchange rate. For example, anything will be exchanged means gold exchange, they will say okay, only this rate will be followed. There was like a dictatorship was there in the field of economics. When the IMF was set up, they clearly mentioned one rule that whatever we say, whatever the entire country is agree with. Today at present, if you ask, we have another 189 countries, the member of IMF. All these 189 countries will follow those exchange control rate. No one will have a control on this exchange rate. Who will decide it? The IMF will decide the entire exchange principle. No one can come and say, no, America has too much of development, means America cannot control the exchange rate. Japan is too much control, Japan cannot control it. Who will control? The IMF controls and it eliminates if anyone comes and say that we are the very wealthy country, we are the very developing country, we are the so and so. No, it is not going to work because IMF is the one bodyguard over here to control the exchange rate. Next one, to establish the multilateral trade and payment scheme. See, when the two countries comes together for any trading business or any trading activity, any economical activity, what happens? There should be a many ways for what? For the trade and for the payment. When you go for a trade means many ways should be there. Many diversification should be there in the payment. So this IMF gives you that privilege that it establishes the multilateral payment, multilateral trading system, because when the two countries comes together, there will be different type of scenarios. The regulations, the laws, the export and import system will be different. Here, that's the reason we need the multi-trade and payment scheme. At the starting stage, if you see, before this kind of organization, IMF or World Bank or the WTO, before this organization, what happened? Only one base, bilateral system will follow, where whatever one country says that will be followed. Now, it's a multi-trade system. As per your convenience, you do trade. As per their convenience, they will do the trade. Next one, to promote the flow of capital. Very important that capital plays a very, very essential role. Whether it's a business, whether it's economic activity, whether it's you're talking about the country development. Everywhere capital plays a role. This IMF plays an essential role that they will take care that whoever are the members country, and if they are doing any kind of trading activity, any kind of economical activity, they will make sure that flow of capital is inefficient. It should be in a perfect balanced way. It should not go in a wrong way. So the flow of capital will be fully promoted by the IMF. They just don't control it, but also promote it. Next one, to solve the various economic problems. Along with this, apart from all these things, they also solve the various economic problems. What are they? Liquidity. See, the cash is a very, very essential aspect of any kind of trading activity. Why we have IMF? To give the effect to the trading activity, right? So the liquidity, easily convertible. Liquidity was easily convertible into cash. Anything that you can easily convert into cash. The economic problem, this problem will be solved by the IMF. Next, cash ratio. Cash ratio plays a very important role. As we know that if anything, business goes in a sink or business goes in a dissolution, in such scenario, cash ratio plays a vital role. Hence, the IMF also give the objective, give the special preference to the cash ratio and also to the export and import. Various troubles comes in the export and import. Hence, the IMF plays a vital role to solve all these problems. Liquidity problem, cash ratio problem and export import problem. Okay, let's on to see the functions of IMF. See, IMF plays a very important role in the various business activity. What are the functions it has? See, regularly the functions will be of three nature: financial function, regulatory function and consultative function. Financial functions are those functions which is related with the money. All the money related function will be taken care by this. Regulatory function, all the rules and regulation. Here, rules and regulations are there. All the rules, principle, policies, all will be fixed by them. Consultative function are though where the advice will be given. The member country needs any advice, they will give the advice. So total 3 diverse functions they have: financial, regulatory, consultative. Apart from this, we have these 6 functions which plays an important role in the IMF. What are they? Bringing stability in the exchange rate. As I told you, before 1945, at the time of Second World War and the earlier period, what happened? The exchange rate was not stable. Sometimes go up, sometimes comes down. But when the IMF came, the first thing they did that they brought the equality. Equality in the what? In the exchange rate. Stability in the exchange rate brought by the IMF. Second point, correcting BOP disequilibrium. See, break objective point, or where the profit you have the more, disequilibrium should be. See, equilibrium is a part, it's a place where you got the maximum satisfaction. But what happened to one country was achieving happiness, one country was not happy with the habit of trade. Now, this IMF came and they solved the disequilibrium problem. Not only the one country, both the countries should be happy in the trading activity. Next one, determining the par values. Every share that you do, every business that you do, every economic activity you do, for everything there should be a value. I am doing a export business, for that I should have a value. I am doing a fishing business, for that I should have a value. Everything that you do. So determining par values. Every business that we do, for that the par value will be decided, so that it can bring the more stability, more control and more efficiency in the trading of economic trade and for the international business standard. Next one, balancing the demand and supply of currency. See, the international business is what deals with the currency. One country, another country. It will have different currency, I will have a different currency. This IMF will bring the equality. It will bring the perfect desire in the supply and demand. For example, as we know that supply curve and demand. Now, this supply and demand will be made equal. It will be balanced by whom? By IMF. For example, 3 countries are there: UK, US and Russia. These 3 countries coming together for giving the effect to the international trade. Here, the demand and supply of currency between these countries should be maintained. Who will maintain this? It will be maintained by the IMF. Next, reducing the trade restrictions. See, earlier times, it was lot of trade restrictions were there. This country cannot do this trade, this country cannot do this trade, this country cannot do the trade in their currencies, only the dollar will be followed. This kind of various restrictions were there. When the IMF was set up, whoever will become the member of those countries, whoever became the member countries of the IMF, what happened? The IMF gave the simple reduction that all the trade restrictions were removed. Whatever the trade restrictions were there, everything was removed. At the last, providing a credit facility. See, once we understand that business means credit should be there. Anyone it may be, whether it's the biggest millionaire of India, Ambani, or maybe the Microsoft owner, Bill Gates. Everyone who do the business needs credit. They will not have that much money that although they are the richest persons in the world, still they need something credit so that they can run the business effectively. Now, this IMF was the first organization in the world to give the financial assistance, to give the credit facilities to the various countries who were the member of it. So these are the various functions of IMF: bringing the stability, correcting BOP, determining par value, balancing demand and supply of currency, reducing the trade restrictions, providing the credit facility. Along with that, financial, regulatory and consultative function brought the various kind of exchange and revolutionary effect to the IMF, and it bring the so much of growth in the field of economics. That's why the International Economics Organization got a new shape. What we have the various relation with India and IMF, what is impact it brought in the Indian economics, Indian development, this and all we'll see in the future. Dear students, please subscribe our official channel G.k.jain Schools for the latest and latest video. Thank you.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.